Is there something a woman can do so a man never walks away? Yes, but it's not what you think. It's not being perfect. It's not giving everything. It's not surrendering until you disappear. And even less, it's not enduring, so he'll stay. Carl Jung, one of the great sages of the human soul, didn't write about romantic love as we understand it today, but he left behind powerful clues. Clues about how to build a bond so real, so deep, and so symbolic that no man with a living soul would want to let it go. 1. Become a reflection of his soul, not his need. Jung said we fall in love with the other when we see in them a part of our own soul. And men, when they have yet to integrate their emotional world, project their anima onto the woman. What does that mean? That if he sees you as a symbol of connection, as something more than surface-level company, he won't be able to walk away so easily. How do you achieve this? Not by trying to please, but by being yourself, from your essence, from your center, from your emotional integrity. When a woman doesn't mold herself to what he expects, but shows herself as she is and invites him to do the same, the bond becomes transformative. And that ties him from within. 2. Don't cage him. Awaken him. The male ego fears losing freedom, and when a woman tries to control, demand, or cling, he activates defense mode. But Jung said it clearly. The soul needs expansion, not control. How does this look in practice? Give him space. Not so he can drift away, but so he can breathe. Don't demand constant explanations, but do communicate from your truth. You're not here to lock him inside you. You're here to invite him to himself through the bond. 3. Show your humanity. Not perfection. One of the greatest mistakes in love is to act as an unbreakable woman. No emotions, no doubts, no shadow. But Jung said, what you deny submits you. What you accept transforms you. What does this mean? Show him your real sides, your fears, your changes, your story. Not as weakness, but as humanity. A man stays when he feels he doesn't need to pretend with you, because you're not pretending either. 4. Touch his consciousness, not his ego. If you feed his ego, he feels powerful. But if you touch his consciousness, he feels seen. How do you achieve that? Not through blame, through words that connect to the deeper self. This made me think. I feel this, but I'm not blaming you. I just want you to understand. I don't want to manipulate you. I want you here only if you want to be. That kind of clarity disarms him. And when a man lowers the ego and lifts the soul, he doesn't walk away. He stays. 5. Don't try to change him. Inspire him. Jung said, true relationships create transformation, but not through pressure, through resonance. How should you act? Don't point out everything that needs fixing. Show him through your energy, your path, your language, what's possible. If he sees you growing, deepening, integrating, something inside him will want to do the same. And that inner impulse is worth more than 1,000 external demands. 6. Be a symbol, not a distraction. The woman who entertains him might be appealing, but the woman who moves him symbolically, who represents an intense and meaningful emotional experience, stays with him at a soul level. How do you become a symbol? By inhabiting your inner world, by standing in your own power, not reacting from fear, but acting from your center. When you live from the soul, he associates you with something much deeper than your body or the role of partner, and that can't be replaced. 7. Maintain your mystery without hiding. Jung explained that mystery isn't about secrecy. It's about allowing the other to slowly discover all that you are. How do you do that? Don't reveal everything at once. Leave space for him to explore you, listen to you, read you gradually. Don't over-explain yourself. Don't give yourself away fully in the first step. Hold your process. A woman who doesn't empty herself just so he stays is a woman he wants to keep discovering. 8. Be clear about what you want, but also about what you won't tolerate. It's not about setting boundaries harshly. It's about emotional elegance. What does that look like? When you're able to say, I want you close, but I can't stay somewhere where I abandon myself. That firmness, without aggression, makes an impression he won't forget. 9. Don't be his crutch. Be his mirror. A man doesn't stay with the woman who holds him up endlessly without question. He stays with the one who invites him to see his own reflection. How do you act? Show him what you feel with him, what you see in him, what he could be if he dared to see himself as whole. That moves him. And if his soul is ready, he stays. 10. Don't forget yourself, so he won't forget you. Jung said, the most important process is individuation, becoming yourself. And that applies in love too. How does it show up? Don't stop doing what you love. Don't abandon your path to follow his. Don't sacrifice your essence so he won't leave. Because if you have to stop being you, so he'll stay, then you're no longer the one truly present. A man doesn't stay out of obligation. He stays because something in him resonates with your energy, with your truth, with your soul. And as Jung said, the authentic meeting between two people transforms them both. Let him never want to leave, not because you need him, but because he can't let go of what only you awakened in him. But if you want a man not to leave, first you have to ask yourself something far more essential. Am I close to myself? Because no one can stay where there is inner disconnection. Carl Jung said the human soul cannot live long in falseness, and often, in trying to hold on to someone, women forget their own center. They drift away from who they are, from what they feel, from what they need. And there, the real emptiness begins. Love is not about completing each other. It's about reflecting one another. Jung spoke of the process of individuation, that deep journey inward, where we stop acting based on what others expect and begin to live from the authentic self. And you know what? A true, lasting relationship isn't based on two halves needing each other, but on two whole souls choosing each other. A man stays, not because you give him what he lacks, but because with you, he feels he can expand. The love that transforms is not the one that soothes the ego. It's the one that awakens the soul. Jung spoke of archetypes as deep structures of the unconscious, and one of the most powerful is the anima, the inner image of the feminine in a man's psyche. When a woman embodies that energy, not from appearance but from essence, she stirs something deep within him. It's not just attraction, it's transformation. And transformation is unforgettable. Do you want to be unforgettable? Then don't be the one who only soothes his wounds with tenderness. Be the one who names them too, the one who doesn't flee from pain, the one who looks at him with love, but also with awareness. Because when a man finds a woman who can hold his shadow without fusing with it, he finds something the world doesn't offer him. What is holding the shadow? Jung said the shadow is all we deny about ourselves, what we fear, what we repress, what we don't want to see. And in relationships, it appears. It shows up in jealousy, in insecurity, in neediness. And you know what a conscious woman does? She doesn't run from it, but she doesn't lose herself in it either. She sees it, she names it, she moves through it, and from there, she can build a more real love. True love is not without conflict. It's conflict with awareness. Jung said conflict is necessary for growth, but not just any conflict, the kind that invites you to integrate parts of yourself you don't yet know. 11. Don't hide your shadow. Invite him to see his. The shadow, for Jung, is everything we don't want to see in ourselves. Our insecurities, anger, jealousy, unresolved wounds. And often in relationships we try to hide all of that. We think that if we show our less shiny parts, he'll leave. But it's the opposite. When you show yourself human, aware of your shadow, unafraid to face it, you give him permission to do the same. And that creates brutally real intimacy. A connection that isn't built in perfection, but in depth. A man stays where he doesn't have to fake strength, where he can show vulnerability, because you dare to do the same. 12. Speak to his soul, not his persona. Many men walk through life identified with a persona, the successful one, the strong one, the one who needs no one. But inside, there's a child, a wound, a deep need to be understood. Jung said true love doesn't happen between masks, but between two souls who truly see each other. So if you want him not to leave, don't react to the persona. Don't argue with his ego. Speak to the one behind it. With phrases like, I don't want to fight. I want to understand you. I'm not against you. I'm with you, if you're with yourself. I don't want to win this argument. I want us to be a team. That disarms him, because no one wants to run from the place where they can be themselves. 13. Don't become the love that puts him to sleep. Be the love that wakes him up. There are loves that numb, that bring comfort, routine, safety, but no growth. And there are others that stir, shake, transform. A man doesn't stay where nothing happens. He stays where something inside him lights up. And how is that achieved? Not by saying what he wants to hear, but by saying what he needs to hear, even if it's uncomfortable. Not by softening your ideas, but by expressing them with clarity and tenderness. Not by adapting, but by inspiring. 14. Protect your energy. That's what makes him fall for you. Jung said each person has their own energy field, their vital force. And when we give it away without measure, we empty ourselves. A woman who gives everything without keeping anything for herself stops being a mystery, stops being living energy. She becomes sacrifice. And paradoxically, that doesn't bring him closer. It drives him away. A man stays where he sees the woman chooses herself every day, where he knows she doesn't need him, but she chooses him. And that wakes him up. 15. Don't fear losing him. Fear losing yourself. One of the reasons many women try so hard to hold on to a man is fear of abandonment. But Jung said, what you resist persists. When you act from the fear that he'll leave without realizing, you start creating that reality. You become anxious, controlling, overly pleasing. And he doesn't leave out of malice. He leaves because you're no longer present in yourself. But when you accept that he might stay, or not, and still stay true to your soul, he feels it. And that self-assurance is magnetic. 16. Be grounding for his soul, not a storm for his mind. Modern life is full of noise, chaos, pressure, and many men walk around disconnected from what they feel. If you become a space where he can lower his guard, where he doesn't have to prove anything, where he can breathe, then he won't want to leave. Because the soul always seeks refuge. And if you are that conscious, calm, loving refuge, he will want to return again and again. 17. Honor the bond, not the role. Don't cling to the role of girlfriend, partner, or wife. That's just form. Honor the bond, the invisible, the symbolic. That which cannot be defined by words, but is felt in every look, in every shared silence. Because when the soul senses something sacred, the body stays. 18. Keep the fire of the soul alive, not just the body's. Yes, physical attraction matters, but it doesn't hold everything. Carl Jung said the soul hungers for meaning, and if the bond doesn't nourish that, it dims. So talk to him about what moves you. Share your passions. Show him your spiritual world, your curiosity. A woman with inner spark lights up whoever looks at her. 19. Choose him, but don't lose yourself for him. A man doesn't stay because you disappear to make him happy. He stays when you can love him without stopping loving yourself. When you know his presence adds, but doesn't define your worth. When you can say, I want you here, but if you leave, I continue. That doesn't push him away. It grounds him, because he realizes he's standing before a woman who doesn't need to chain him to feel secure. 20. Turn love into a journey, not a destination. Don't aim to reach something. A real relationship isn't a goal, it's a path. A journey where both grow, face themselves, embrace, and transform. And if you walk with awareness, with soul, with presence, he will want to walk beside you. Because love isn't held by promises, but by truth. And as Jung said, what we do not face within ourselves, we will meet as fate. So if you want a man not to walk away, don't focus so much on him. Look at yourself. Illuminate your shadows. Honor your truth. Live from your soul. Because when you are whole within yourself, when you radiate self-love and awareness, no bond can fade. Because he doesn't leave, a place where he learned to find himself. If this video touched you, feel free to share it, leave a like, and subscribe. We'll continue exploring love from a place of truth and depth, not to hold on to anyone, but to connect soul to soul.